He takes the weird part of dreams and the weird part of nightmares and really makes them feel real in a way that you never see in anything else.
I think most brilliant geniuses are a bit obsessive, and you need to be. He's definitely obsessive about what he does, and there's such a real love there.
For me, as a fan of David's, I always appreciate the whole piece of art, from the music to the way it looks to the work. I mean, every bit of it.
Looks like a hog to me.
Holy smoke.
Holy smoke.
And one of the things that David would always say was, you can't spoon feed the audience. They don't have to understand everything immediately.
Yeah.
Let them take a little journey to find the truth of what's going on.
I heard you speaking about Laura Palmer.
Yes?
One day, my log will have something to say about this.
On set, the cast immediately recognized Lynch wasn't making a typical TV show.
He created this world that felt more like a film set, and he would take time to let things breathe.
It's on location in Washington. It's not being shot in LA.
And as a result, the show felt kind of unlike any other television show that had really come before.
I really loved the scene in the pilot where we were in the woods and it was with James and Donna in the woods.
You ran off.
Oh, it's okay.
That was really a neat shoot because it was so intimate.
It's not your fault, James.
You have this grieving best friend and this, saddened secret lover of Laura Palmer, and they connect. They sneak off into the woods to look at this locket that kind of represented the soul of Laura Palmer, and all of a sudden, we were in a very kind of heavy teen drama and the love connection that happened there.
And we were like that for 8 hours, 10 hours or something in the woods, So it was there was just something about it. It's just so cool.
God, I love this music. Isn't it too dreamy?
What I find so amazing is that the dancing scene, and the day of it, David showed up and said, all right, everybody get a cappuccino, we're rewriting the scene, and Audrey, you're gonna dance at the end. And I was like, what?
In David Lynch's style, he really loves happy accidents. He loves being in the moment, seeing something that makes him feel a certain way, and then just going with it.
I was so nervous, and what do you mean I'm gonna dance? And well, they wrote you this song, and just something magic happened in it. Also, just all of a sudden, whenever I'd have scenes with Dal Cooper, something would happen that was really magical.
Good morning, Colonel Cooper.
Just agent, Audrey. Special agent.
Ding, 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 things would start to go off, and Audrey would be so excited and happy, and yeah, I love doing scenes with him.
One that leaps to mind is a scene where the llama comes passing through and stops for a moment and looks at me, and I look at him.
Yes, but only one has a best friend with one arm. Harry?
That obviously we weren't prepared for that. Just stuff like that happened all the time. David calls them happy accidents. He really embraces them. So we had a lot of those happy accidents.
I love the scene we were doing when you were on the throwing machine. I came in and with mud.
It was oil.
Oil, that's right. Spilled oil on her drapes. Sorry, honey, I didn't see it there.
You stepped on my drape runner.
So Nadine Hurley is definitely one of the quirkier characters. She's obsessed with drape runners, and her life's goal is to invent noiseless drape runners.
I was up all night working on that invention. I'm going to have the world's first 100% quiet runner.
And I knew my ass was in a bind. Oh,
Furious.
oh,
And David's little secret whisper to me, I think we can tell after all these years, his little secret whisper that you weren't allowed to hear was, it's a baby. Think it's a baby. And then when he drops that oil on it, I just scream bloody murder.
Ed, you make me sick!
And then later, it was the oil dropping on it that made me think of the cotton balls. Or, as Nadine said, cotton balls.
Cotton balls.
And the oil on the runners, that was the silent drape runners. So it was that happy accident. That was my greatest invention.
By God, those things would be quiet now.
Whenever we would have a kissing scene or anything that was like romantic or whatever, I'd always, defer to David on what level.
How far to go?
Be? Like, should it be a 1 to 10, 10 being highest? What would it be? And he'd always come up with an 11,
Yep.
I was always just like so grateful to him to give me the green light to be able to go for an 11 with Machen over here.
It's driving me crazy.
There was the scene where we're out in the forest and I'm throwing the rocks at the bottle and I'm using that technique to maybe figure out who might be guilty or not guilty.
I should strike the bottle after Sheriff Truman says a particular name. Make a check to the right of that name.
So one of the first times we really get a sense of Agent Cooper's investigative methods, which are perhaps a little unorthodox, is where there's this great scene where he basically sets up bottles and throws rocks at them to kind of let things guide him towards the right answer. He's someone who really relies on his dreams and his intuition in a way that to kind of help him solve this murder.
The idea for all this really came from a dream?
Yes, it did.
We spent a good half hour just rolling on that and throwing literally hundreds of rocks at the bottle.
Andy, put that bottle back exactly where it was.
Before we finally, I think I winged it one time and knocked it over.
Lawrence Jacoby.
You did it! You hit it!
Lucy, make a note that the bottle was struck but did not break. Very important.
And then a few later, it actually broke. We didn't really need to do that. We could have done it in a cut, but we were all there having so much fun and David was getting such a kick out of it that we just kept rolling on it and everyone got the chance to throw rocks. And then David came and threw some rocks. We all threw rocks at the bottle before ultimately it went down.
Oh. Sorry, Andy.
A beautiful scene for me was when I explained why we were together.
Yes.
And what happened to her eye.
I shot out Nadine's eye on that honeymoon.
What do you mean, Ed?
It's this really heartbreaking story of how they were on their honeymoon, and it was a hunting accident.
I fired, and a piece of buckshot skipped off a rock and caught Nadine square in the eye.
Man, that's a tough one.
It's a beautiful scene, beautifully written, and it was juxtaposed with Miguel Ferrer, kind of making fun of the story. So on the one hand, it was kind of weird.
She laid across my lap as we drove back to town. She never cried. She never blamed me.
He was making fun of me, but the story was really powerful. So you're when you watch it, you bounce back and forth between something really touching and something kind of absurd.
So I don't believe in fate. You make your bed, you sleep in it. Sorry.
The season 1 finale aired on May 23rd, 1990. After 8 episodes, the identity of Laura Palmer's killer was still a mystery.
It was Laura's. We found it. I think it'll help you find who you're looking for.
Who might that be?
Somebody with a red Corvette.
So not only is there still the mystery of who killed Laura Palmer, but all of a sudden, Lynch gives us this whole new mystery.
So the end of Twin Peaks Season 1 features this incredible cliffhanger. Agent Cooper is shot.
We eventually find out that Cooper's okay. He was wearing a bulletproof vest and he's not mortally wounded. But it's this really big climactic moment.
Everybody was very excited. Everyone was waiting for Twin Peaks to come back. Who shot Agent Cooper?
So David reached out to me and just said he had something very important to talk with me about. And he told me what he was planning, that he and Mark had found a way back.
With Advil, you'll ask, what twisted ankle? What muscle strain? Advil makes pain a distant memory. Nothing works faster, stronger, or longer. What? Pain. Advil.